So let's get in the right frame of mind before we start the lesson today. Okay? Can you please tell me all the factors of 8?
2.
So 1, 2, 4, 8. Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. So please tell me all the factors of 12.
2, 1,
2,
3, 4, 6, 12.
12. What about the factors of 20?
1, 2, 4, 5, 6,
10, 20. You okay with that? You're okay with thinking about numbers and thinking of their factors? Okay, so then we need to go another step. Can you tell me the 2 factors of 8 that add to 6?
4 and 2.
4 and 2. You okay with that? Mm-hmm. Can you please tell me the 2 factors of 12 that add to 13? 12 and 1? Yeah? Can you tell me the 2 factors of 20 that add to 12?
52.
Okay. Can you please tell me the 2 factors of negative 8 that add to 2?
Negative 8 and 2.
The 2 factors of negative 8 that add to 2.
Negative 2 and positive 4.
Negative 2 and positive 4. Does that make sense? Because if I tell you a number that's negative, one of its factors has to be positive, one has to be negative, right? That's the only way we can get a negative when we multiply. Okay? Tell me the factors of 12 that add to negative 1. Remember, it has to multiply to be 12 and add to be negative 1. Negative 4, positive 3. Right? Does that make sense? Tell me the factors of 20 that add to negative 9.
There's a 5 and 4. Right? So we have negative 5 and negative 6.
Negative 5 and negative 4. Yeah. It has to multiply to be 20 and add to be negative 9. Doesn't that mean both of the factors have to be negative, right? Does that make sense? So, it doesn't make sense?
I'm confused what you're trying to say.
So I'm asking what 2 factors of 20 add to be negative 9? Now when we wrote all the factors, we only wrote the positive factors, right? Did anyone even think of negative factors? No, because we weren't thinking of that yet, right? It wasn't time to think of that yet. But now I'm asking for what factors of 20, 2 factors, add to be negative 9?
It's a factor, like...
Can somebody answer that for him? What's a factor?
Wait, what was...
All the numbers that can go into that number, divide into that number, right? Or in this case, if we look at it this way, aren't these 2 numbers, don't these 2 numbers multiply to be 20? Don't these 2 numbers multiply to be 20?
Yeah.
And these 2 numbers multiply to be 20? Those are factors of 20.
So, how do we get negative 9?
What's negative 4 plus negative 5?
5 or 9.
Negative 9.
4 plus 5?
Negative 4 plus negative 5 is negative 9. And what I said was 2 factors that multiply to be 20 and add to be negative 9. Does that make sense? For real?
Yeah, actually.
Okay. Everybody else okay as well? Yeah? Okay, grab your foldable. Okay, here's where we were yesterday and here's where we are today. Now, we're only on this left-hand side page today. Okay? We're only on the left-hand side page today. And we're going to have to write a little smaller than we did, especially yesterday, because there's going to be 5 examples on this page. Let me show you kind of where they're going to be. One is going to be here, one is going to be here, and then 1, 1, 1. Does that make sense? Yeah? Now, I'm going to teach you 2 ways to factor these today. Okay, 2 ways.
Okay.
All right. How many terms are our problems going to have today? How do you know that? Oh, it's try, right? So trinomials. So let's start with this one. X squared plus 5x plus 6. Okay? Now the first thing you need to know is we have labels on this. Okay? If we've taken out our GCF, there's no GCF to take out, no greatest common factor to take out. What's left is the number in front of the x squared is a, the number in front of the x is b, and the number by itself is c. Those are going to be our labels. We need those today. Okay? Because the first thing we're going to have to find is a, c, and the second thing we're going to have to find is b. What do you think I want you to do with a and c?
Add them.
Multiply them, right? Because a is c is just sitting right beside each other, and what does that imply? Multiplication. So in this problem, what is a? 1. Oh, very good. And I know that seems weird that I would say very good, but what do you think people today have said when I said, what is a?
0.
Oh, what they said was x squared, right? What did I say a was?
1.
The number in front, exactly. Or the number in front, right, of the letter? Okay, so a is 1 and c is what? 6. So what is 1 times 6?
6.
Okay. And what is b? Yeah, for b I just have to look, right?
Yeah.
So what I need you to think about is I need two numbers that multiply to be AC and add to be B. So what two numbers multiply to be 6 and add to be 5? 3 and 2. You okay with that? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm actually going to rewrite my problem by splitting my middle term into 2 parts. The 2 parts that you just told me. So I'm going to write x squared plus 2x plus 3x plus 6. You okay with that? Isn't that equal the same thing as it was before? I just split it into 2 terms, that middle term into 2 terms?
Yeah.
Oh, well, how many terms are there now?
4.
Oh, I really wish we knew how to factor with 4 terms.
We did.
Oh my gosh, that's what we did yesterday.
Grouping.
Remember? That's right there. If you need to look back, right? So I need a group. These 2 and these 2. What's common in the first 2 terms? X. If I factor out an x, what's left?
2.
X plus 2. What's common in the second 2 terms? A 3. What's left if I factor out a 3? X plus 2. Looking at these 2 terms, what's common in those 2 terms? X plus 2. And what's left over? X plus 3. Done. How do you feel about that? Okay, so you're telling me you think this is easy.
Well,
You're telling me this way you think is easy.
that's not easy at all. Well, I mean, like,
Some people think it's easy. They just looked at me in the face and said, oh, that's easy. What I'm going to say to those people who think this is easy, I'm telling you, remember I told you I was teaching you 2 ways today? This is the harder of the 2 ways that I'm teaching you today.
yeah. I feel
Right?
like big
I know
short
some
way.
people look excited right now. That's good, right? Okay? So why would I teach you the hard way first?
So it gives us confidence.
It always works.
It always works. The easy way doesn't always work. I will tell you that the easy way always works today. Okay? The easy way always works today. You okay with that? So let's do this exact same problem again. And I'll show you the easy way. Okay? I still have to do A, C, and B. And in this problem, AC is 6 and B is 5. And I still have to think what 2 numbers multiply to be 6 and add to be 5. What did you tell me they were? Wait a second. 2 and 3, like this? So I can go straight to my factors? Bruh. So before we go any further, I need you to know when this way works. Okay? And for the record, it's in the title.
Try.
When A is 1. When A is 1, we can do this way. Okay? When A is 1, and I'll tell you right now, all day today, A is 1. Okay? A is 1 all day today. Guess when A is not 1? Tomorrow. Okay? But you already know how to do tomorrow's. I'm going to show you some examples just in case, but you already know how to do tomorrow's, yes? Okay, so let's do a couple more examples to make sure that we're confident in this. Okay? I don't know why I wrote a parenthesis. X squared plus 2x, minus 15. Pretend that's a minus. That's supposed to be a minus. So what's AC?
So we got
Negative 15. And what's B? 2. So what two numbers multiply to be negative 15 and add to be 2?
okay, negative 5 and 3. No, wait, negative. Yeah, wait, no, wait, yeah, negative 5. Wait.
Negative 5 and 3.
Negative 5 and 3 adds to be positive 2? Negative 3 and 5, right? Negative 3 and 5? You okay with that? Well, if it's negative 3 and 5, I can go straight here. Negative 3 and 5. How can I be sure that's the right answer? What do you mean plug it in?
Like plug it in up there.
Like plug a random number into X's?
No.
And I
so
guess that would work,
3,
but
yeah. Yes.
besides checking my answer key, because can you check my answer key on the test? What do you want to say?
You can not distribute, but you can
Yes,
apply
yes you can.
Oh wait, yes.
You can distribute,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What's X times X?
X squared.
What's X times 5?
5x.
5X. What's negative 3 times X?
Negative 3x.
And 5X and negative 3X equals what? 2X. And then what's negative 3 times 5? Done. Now, do you have to distribute? No, distributing is the opposite of what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to separate it into its parts. We're trying to factor it. But I'm saying if you want to check it, can you distribute to see if you get the product? Yes. Okay. What about this one? X squared minus 10x plus 21. What's AC? 21. And what's B? Negative 10. So what two numbers multiply to be negative 21 and add to be negative 10? Yes. Negative 7 and negative 3. Can I try to trick you? Because it's not what I wrote on my answer key. Because what I wrote on my answer key was x minus 3 and x minus 7. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Because it doesn't matter what order we multiply in, right? Could I write x plus 7 and x plus 3? No, that would not work, would it? Okay? Our signs have to be right, but if our signs are right, it doesn't matter which one of these is first and which one is second. Does that make sense? Okay, one more example. X squared minus 3x minus 10. AC, negative 10, and B, negative 3. So what two numbers multiply to be negative 10 and add to be negative 3?
Negative
2 and negative 5.
2 and negative 5.
Negative 5 and 2.
2 and
Yes.
Negative 5 and 2.
We good? Okay, before I get you going on your worksheet, let me draw your attention to some things here. Okay? There's nothing new to write down for the record. We're just going to notice some things. Okay? Notice in this first problem on this side, the last number is positive, and in this problem on this side, the last number is positive. Look at the signs in the answer. What's true about them? They are the...
They're the same.
They're the same, right? Why is that? Because it has to multiply to be a positive number. What's the only way you can do that?
With a positive.
If they're both positive or both negative. If the last number is negative, what has to be true about the signs? They have to be different, right? They have to be opposite. Any questions about that? Now, is that something you're going to think about on every problem? Maybe, maybe not, right? But that's something you can think about for sure, right? Especially if you're struggling to try to figure out what the numbers is. If the last number is negative, if the last number is positive, if my AC is positive, I know both of my signs have to be either positive or both negative. Yes? And if that last number is negative, I know I'm going to have opposite signs in my factors. We good? Any questions?